It feels like I'm risking it all. A good day, my friends. It's a Friday, and you're not expecting me. But I wanted to get on and talk to you, especially this morning, because it feels like I'm risking it all. And I want to share that with you. Good day, good day, good day. It feels like I'm risking it all. It feels like it's just one of these times in your life. Now, not many people are comfortable with risking it all. Not many of you probably think about this on the reg, but it feels like, normally I'm a risky guy in some regards. And as I get older, I start to think a little differently about risk. And I think it's natural. My father, as he aged in time, we're going to talk about him a little bit this morning, but as he aged, I could see my risk levels growing from high school to college to my entrepreneurial years, and I could see my father's waning as time closed, when he was getting to 60 and then 70 and now in the 80s. It's just risk is not something he can even comprehend. He has Alzheimer's, and he's sitting in a beautiful room at Astro, and I talk to him pretty much every week. I go and visit with him, and risk is not really something that's on his mind anymore. There's things on his mind. It's just not the stuff that, used to be on his mind. The questions I get from him now are, do we own this place? Am I going to get kicked out? What time's dinner? Right. So risk at some point in our life really becomes like one of these things that, it's either taken from us or we just lose interest in it and we're ready to, slow down and some would call it retire. And I'm not calling you this morning or talking to you to be one or different or a certain way. I wanted to share with you about the donut capital world and the influence it's had on me and where we're going, because I think we've had an abrupt change in my marketing ploys to maybe some and many of you. And I'm really I want to explain myself a little bit this morning. And I want to give you, I want to ask, I want to thank you. I want to ask for, your understanding on where things have gone in my life and where things are going. And, with privilege comes responsibility. And I feel like the donut capital world has become something different than a donut shop. In 2018, we exploded and put up new signage and said, we were going to become the donut capital of the world. And over 3 years, we said it loud enough and long enough. And then we set a world record. And then we were dubbed the donut capital of the world. And interestingly enough, we're 6 years into this story in Guinness and social media, and Google says we're the donut capital world, so we must be. Little fact is that we've had as many as 8 different countries visit the donut capital of the world in the last 2 years. That's the ones I know of that sought me out to say I'm from Europe, or I'm from Germany, or I'm from Spain, or I'm from Ireland, Mexico. I mean, it's crazy, right? I was out there praying Thursday night before the revival, and that's kind of really what I want to get into. Is this weekend is just an amazing weekend. I want you to understand that coming today is our first ever blood drive. So today's Friday. The Labor Day weekend's really starting for us and for maybe many of you. Friday is our first annual blood drive. Many people need blood in this world. We're saving lives by giving blood, and they never can have enough blood. I've given blood on and off throughout my entire life, and I feel blessed that they would call us and say, "Could we use your location? And could you stir up some donors for us?" And we're like, "Heck yeah, we can do that." So I'll tell you about that in a second. So Friday is the blood drive this morning from 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And I'll explain that to you. Then tomorrow is Saturday. We are going to have a dance party. It's the last dance party of the 15-week parties we've had on the Donut Capital of the World corner. It's a disco party. Hustle 54 is going to bring multiple band members, and we're going to do disco, and we're inviting you all to show up and dress like John Travolta, Donna Summer. I don't care who your favorite disco star was, but come on now, bring some disco. Man, God loves the party too, right? Let's get our disco on the water. Lake James, Jimerson Lake, Snow Lake, Otter Lake, Big Lake Otter, Big Otter, Small Otter. We're all here, right? The chain of lakes, all the lakes in Steuben County. Someone said once there's 101 lakes, and then all of a sudden I found out that was a lie. There's like 116. I mean, someone started counting more lakes. If anyone knows that story, tell me, because I'm going to run with 101 plus. We're here for all of you at Traditions, the Donut Capital of the World. So that's Saturday. And then Sunday, the hype, the explanation really was bringing me to you this morning is, I'm really excited about Sunday. We're having the first annual Labor Day Lake Life Revival, which is a church experience, which is a Christ experience, which is a God experience. We take God everywhere with us, whether we know it or not. And I just feel like this change, I don't want to call it a change in me, but it is a change in me because I'm being more forward, my wired differently, mindset, movement, mission, and ministry is colliding at this point with Tom's Donuts. And I know a lot of you are maybe wondering, what happened to Todd? I knew him in high school, right? That's a good guy, but I wasn't running around baptizing people and doing prayer walks and preaching every day, Monday through Thursday on Wired Differently podcast, Facebook channel. So I just wanted to explain myself, and I wanted to encourage you that, yes, there's a God. I believe there's a God, and the God that I'm serving, the God that I'm asking you to understand that I'm serving is a merciful, graceful, driven God, and he's here for peace. He's here for love. And if you don't want to prescribe to that, I'm okay with it. It's not like I'm trying to win more donut sales by taking one weekend out of the year to share my faith with the donut people as well as Wired Differently. So what a lot of you don't know is I have a Todd Saylor Wired Differently channel on Facebook, and every day, basically Monday through Thursday, I teach on business motivation. I teach on Christian business motivation. And then we have the Donut Capital World channel, which is doing great. Lots of followers, lots of fun. You guys are all part of that. So you're actually, your donut people are on my Wired channel. My Wired channel is on my donut people, and I'm bringing you all together. Which brings me to that I could be risking it all. I've in the past just really separated my wired life and my Tom's life. And I just this year thought, God asked me to stop doing that and to stop traveling around the country and purposely gathering followers for Wired Differently for some recognition purpose, but to just say, hey, I have a place for you right here in Steuben County, Todd. And you don't need to be with Salem Media. You don't need to be in California. You don't need you'll be in Texas. You don't need to go out there and do all that wire differently stuff. If it comes, it comes. I'll bring you things. But right now, I think just stay home. Your dad's in his final minutes of his last football game. I'm going to give you this restaurant in the third corner of the four corners, and just stay in Angola for a while. So when God talks, you better listen. A lot of us out there hear him talking, but we don't listen. We don't want to hear what he has to say because it scares us. I'm scared. Join the club. But if we're going to be scared of something, it might as well be what God's got in front of us. It might as well be something that we know there's an ROI on because we're following somebody or something or a spirit, or the Ruach, the Ruach, the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God, right? We're following something that at least has thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years of history of winning, history of success, history of goodness, right? I'm just saying that for 1 week, I'm inviting you in to this world. I'm not going to be pounding the donut capital of the world with all this teaching in the Bible all the time. I'm just not going to do that. But I do think that there's no reason for me to separate a national brand like Wire differently. Watch this, from a world brand like Tom's Donuts, the donut capital of the world. God brought both. And so I'm asking for permission in the donut world to be authentic and not hide my faith in one Facebook channel and market for money in another Facebook channel. Which brings me to, I feel like maybe I'm risking it all. I'm sitting in a room very early in the morning right now. I had to record the show. It'll be live after I'm done here. I've got meetings after meetings, ready for the revival and the rest of the weekend. I do. I feel like I'm risking it all. I feel like, I know I'm not, but I feel like I am, because as a straight up worldly business coach, I would say, man, why don't you just keep God over here and then your business over here, politics over here, God over here, and business over here. But I think at this point, I'm going to be 60 soon enough. And I just think that the authentic side of me needs to come forward, and I can't just say, okay, this bucket's here and this bucket's here. I mean, it's one God-given opportunity for me to bring these two worlds together, the Wire differently mindset, movement, mission, and ministry, and the donut capital of the world, which I never intended. I intended at something, but I didn't intend on, some almost 30,000 followers and people coming up to me and shaking my hand and asking for my autograph and sign your t-shirts, and just in awe of God. I was at a funeral the other day, and a person came across the parking lot. This happened almost 3 times in this basically 1 or 2 days. And this particular person came across and said, "Hey, you're him." I think so. I'm me. And she said, "The donut guy, right? You're the donut guy, the wired donut guy." I said, "Yeah." And she goes, I love your donuts. My family's been getting donuts for almost 50 years. And I just love what you're doing. I love the Wired. I love the commercials. I love the traditions. I love whatever you're doing. And I have a t-shirt, and I wish I had it right now, but could you sign that shirt for me sometime? And I'm like, well, of course I could. Right. I'm only telling you that story, not because I'm lifting myself up here. I'm just saying there's responsibility in the things that we do, the say and walk through life, and there's a responsibility in response, right? And so I can't ignore the fact that there is in this community, small community. I mean, I'm not. It's gurgling, right? There's something gurgling. There's something tangible now. There's a fire in the air. There's a spirit in the air. There's energy in the air, and it's being created not by me, but maybe the energy through me that God has given me in Wired that now has found its way into the donut capital of the world. And now the two beautiful brands are coming together for God. Because this person didn't just say, I love your donuts. They said, I love what you're doing. I love your inspiration, right? And so to me, there's inspiration in a donut. There's inspiration in success. There's inspiration in gathering of people. There's inspiration of being happy. There's inspiration of having very little cares for some reason or other. I want some of that, right? Sign me up, anybody, bro, right? Give me no cares, peace, right? So I feel like I'm risking it all. I'm risking it all going on this channel. Maybe they're going to stop buying donuts. I don't know. I'm not saying I don't care because I do care. I think about it. I ask God. I don't ask. I haven't asked him to bring me more. I've just said, don't stop. Don't let this process of sharing my faith and good thoughts, goodness. And there's a verse in Galatians that Paul says, do not grow weary in being good. Do not grow weary in doing good, for you will reap a harvest if you do not give up. And so I look at that verse and I think, what would the world have problems in that verse? Where would someone who wasn't prescribing, didn't have a cocktail of religion or faith or anything like that, but if they heard something like that I said, that God said through me, through Paul, through Jesus, or how all this whole process works, I don't think that I'm hurting either brand with giving encouragement in regards of Galatians 6:9. I'm going to be talking about Galatians 6:9 and how not to give up in this world, right? On Sunday, 10 o'clock at the Lake Life Revival. So I want to go over the schedule. I want to challenge you to understand what's going on in my mind. And I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm not asking for mercy. I'm not even really asking for prayers right now. I just want to be authentic with you. And we have this beautiful opportunity to have this studio. I'm sitting here alone, like I said, and I know hundreds of people are going to watch this, hopefully all the way through. And I want to be authentic. I can't hide behind one channel and not be transparent on another channel, because God is flowing through me and my family and my grandchildren, even our employees and managers. And, those are the things that we're prescribing to. And those are the things that give me almost even pressure to live up to, because I am representing God. I'm representing the goodness of this Bible, right? This tradition. I mean, if you want to know the tradition I'm talking about in a restaurant tradition, there's certainly Lake Life traditions, but this is the longest tradition mankind has ever known in writing, in many, many regards. This is tradition. So I want to just kind of close and let you know, I feel like I'm risking it all, and I want permission to share this with you. I want you to understand that I'm doing this for the community of the lakes. Our mission at this revival is to bring the lake community together, give them a safe place to worship, feel accepted, and to not worry about saying, I love God, or bless you, friend, or I hope you have a great weekend. And just be accepting of all people. all things. You know, we have a lot of this diversity conversation. I had a young lady ask me about my speech on Sunday if it was going to be politically charged. And I said, no, no. My Get Real speech is going to be about getting real with ourselves and how not to give up in this world as misfits. And she said, well, I have some left beliefs and some right beliefs. I said, don't worry, this is not a political speech at all by any stretch of the imagination. But it got me thinking. And I did share with her that, politics are pretty much everywhere in our lives and we can't escape it. But I did want to encourage her as uh, a left leaning person in some ways, which I have some left social structure beliefs and I have some right fiscal beliefs, but I'm not hiding the fact that I'm a business conservative minded man. But I would tell her, and I told her, and I would tell you that, diversity is one of the hottest political points out there right now, to be diverse. And all I can say to the right and to the left in that regards, and this is not what my topic will be on Sunday, but is that, but it's me. I'm telling you who I am, how I feel, that Jesus was the first, the greatest, and the most significant diversity officer the world has ever seen. Right? He came back for the Jews. He came back for the Arabs. He came back for the Muslims. He came back for the gays. He came back for the straights. He came back for the blacks. He came back for the whites. He came back for the lost. He came back for the saved. He came back for the snakes, the air, the elephants, the dinosaurs. He came back for everybody, everything, every creed. He came back to unite this world in peace, right? He is for all people. He is for this world. He does not see color, creed, lib, dem, conservative, republic. That's the whole thing, man. The Jewish people thought he was coming back just for them. And that's why he lost his life on the Christ, because he said, no, I'm coming back for the Romans. I'm coming back for the Jews. I am coming back for the Samaritans. I'm coming back for the believers. I am coming back for the lost. I am coming back for anyone who can accept me. I am the only way to reunite all of us under one God-given process. So that's a little tangent. I feel like I'm risking it all, right? I'm bringing Wired over to Tom's, but I know God's got it. I know you guys are getting it. So this week's my week, our week to celebrate God. It's the Lake Life Revival. We're going to end this summer on Sunday with the Lake Life Revival. I'm going to be speaking. We go live at 10 o'clock with worship music. I'll come on around 10:15. And John Bruni is amazing. He is my pastor. He is my pastor friend, and he is an amazing preacher. And he travels all over the country. He's been on many American Got Talent shows and things of that nature. And he has literally done feats of strength uncommon to man in this world. He is going to perform an epic feat of strength, showing how we can break chains with God in our lives and push past and not give up in this world and move forward on all occasions as Christ, our Savior, and our leader in this world. And he's literally going to have a motorcycle on one arm and another motorcycle on another arm with a rope. And these motorcycles are going to rip it. And he's going to hold these motorcycles as they try to separate him right at Tom's Park. I don't know. It's crazy. This is the Bible. I'm going to close here. So Friday, we got the blood drive, which is today at 8 o'clock. And good news on the blood drive is that the blood drive came to us and said, do you think you could help us fill 12 seats? We take appointments, and we'd like to put the blood drive out there at the donut corner and the burger corner. And if you could we normally just get a 12 blood drive notices. People sign up and we get their blood and we move on. We give them a little gift and we move on. I said, yeah, we can do 12. Can we go for more than 12? I'm like, well, not usually. We don't usually more than 12. I said, well, we want to give out a gift card of not $18 for every blood donation somebody gives. Would you let us do that? They're like, that's a great idea. So we said, well, what's the most we could do? And they said, well, maybe 40. We've never done 40. And I said, well, how about 50? Well, we could try 50 or something like that. And all of a sudden, Chad puts it out on the Facebook. We do the advertisement. They got it already, a $20 gift certificate for Amex for they're doing. And within 48 hours, our team literally filled this thing up to 50 appointments. I don't think it's ever been done. And we did it in 48 hours. And so I want to thank the donor capital of the world. I want to thank the Thomas people for giving blood, man. You're going to be here today. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be saying hi to you and thanking you. And you're going to be saving someone's life. And then Saturday, we got the hustle. We're going to be dressing up like the 70s and early 80s and disco. And then Sunday is the Lake Life Revival. John Bruni and his worship team will be playing. I will be speaking, and then John Bruni will follow me with speaking, and we will have baptisms on Four Corners, right? We have baptism. We're going to go right in the channel. We're going for it. Like it. Bring your towel, bring your water shoes, and we're going in, and we've already have as many as 10 people registered to be baptized. So if you've never seen a baptism, come on out. You can stand on the bridge and watch the baptism. It's just going to be great. I'm getting excited about all this. I'm gonna have a great message. God's given me a great message. I'm risking it all and not giving up. I'm giving you encouragement. My job is to love you. My job is to encourage you. My job is to motivate you, right? My job is to inspire you. Yeah, we make some good donuts, but man, what is the message that we're able to bring through just one little donut? All right. So Traditions is your restaurant. Traditions is this. I'm just going to close real quick. This Bible here I brought today this is the Bible I gave my dad. I started the show with my dad. I'm going to end with it. And I remember thinking as my dad was closing in his life, I was frustrated because I didn't know where he was with God a little bit. And I'm like, I know I got a witness to my father. I don't know if any of you have been there where you're a believer, but you don't know if your parents are there. And it's just one of those most stressful things ever. Like, I got to tell my parents. I mean, God's told me to go talk to my parents. And parents are probably the hardest people to witness to because they've raised you, and maybe they didn't raise you in church or they didn't raise you in that way, but we don't know how they think. And we just, parents are people too, right? And so at some point we become a parent of parents, and we're parenting our children, we're parenting our parents. But if you're a Christian and you've been led to talk to your parents about Christ because you don't know if they're going to be in heaven with you, I encourage you that you pray about it and you attack it with ferocity. Right? You attack it. Well, I'm just going to show you how I did it. So I went to my father and I said, Dad, I don't know where you're at, God. I know you've talked about God your whole life, but I don't know if you accepted Jesus Christ. I go to church. And all. He goes, yes, son, I know. I've heard you talk on some things. And I said, well, I just want to give you this Bible. And I'm just hopeful, that you can read it. And then I've outlined some things in the Bible and that I'm giving it to God. And hopefully you'll read these verses and, we'll see each other in the kingdom. I've accepted Christ in my heart, and I hope that you can do that too, Dad. So this was a while back. And so my father's in astral. He's in dementia care now, and it's a great ending. But I was looking for this Bible. I was like, I remember it's like about 4 or 5 years ago, I know I gave my dad this Bible. I don't know if he ever read it. I don't know if it ever got through to him, but now that he's in his retirement apartment at Astral, I'm gonna look for that Bible. I mean, I knew to myself, it's like 5, 6, maybe 8 years ago I did this. And so I was going through his stuff and I found the Bible. I'm like, here it is. And I remember writing something to him. So here's what I wrote to him. Dad, you are given to special leadership abilities. As I passed from you, passing these from you, my prayer is that we ask God, what can I do for you today? And how would Jesus do it? I have always wondered how I could ever show you or give you the love and respect I have for you. This is the most I could do. please read. I love you in Christ, Todd Saylor. And I gave him these verses. And John 3:3, John 3:16, John 14, Galatians 1:3, and Ephesians 4 through 6, chapter 4, verse 4 through 6. So I think it's interesting, but I really want you to understand something. I'm going to just kind of blow your mind a little bit as it did mine. I looked at the date on this Bible that I gave my father, and it was 3/16/1997. Almost 28 years ago. 28 years. Sunday, July 10th, 2022. Tracy and I explained the gospel and prayed with Dad and Colleen the salvation message. They eagerly engaged. 2 Timothy 4:7, Todd Saylor. 2 years ago, we spoke the gospel into them. Colleen is my dad's wife, and she's in Auburn Village, skilled care, and her body's riddled with Parkinson's, and her mind is going. It's not the same. My dad's body is broken. He's crooked. He walks, but his spirit has never been greater. His spirit is far greater than his memory. I feel like I'm risking it all. Thanks for this time this morning. I'm not going to go on. I just want to thank you. And I wanted to ask you guys if you've ever felt like you're risking it all. And if you have, and if you are, you're with me and you're in the right place if you're doing it with God. God bless you guys. Have a great day. We'll see you Sunday, 9 a.m. warm-ups, 10 a.m. the worship starts.